Good evening. I'm Robert Wilkins. Last night, we citizens on the plains of Auburn received a wonderful supply of rain because water is so essential for human survival. Additionally, it supports our ecosystem, agriculture, and overall environmental health on this incredible earth we call home. This inaugural debut of Before Citizens Minutes, which has been added to Auburn's voice production library, including Be Informed, Citizens Minutes, Citizens Brief, and Citizens in Profile. The new library edition will cover interesting happenings between July the 6th, 2021, which was the first Auburn City Council meeting that I spoke at before we started Citizens Minutes, over 38 months later on 5/21/24. We at Auburn's Voice Production hope each of you enjoyed the first edition about the Auburn Police Department during the February 6, 2024 council meeting. At a January 2024 Ward 1 meeting, the parents, including Councilwoman Taylor, expressed their concerns that have not been addressed for decades. But during that ward meeting, none of the parents or Councilwoman Taylor or myself ever stated that we had a bad police department. At the end of my speech, I suggested that we form a security community task force that would include key city personnel and representatives of all 8 wards that would be led by Councilwoman Taylor. Unfortunately, Councilman Dawson, former Auburn police chief, and Mayor Anders only praised the police while ignoring a citizen and a council member's concern. Mayor and council. Each year, most of us make new resolutions. A business or government hire consultants to bring in new ideas. Communities become more involved. People set personal and financial goals. Even our excellent police department needs improvements. 4 of our council members have kids still at home, and 4 of our council members plus the mayor have grown kids just like I do. We as parents will do what is needed in taking care of our children. I want to make a story. Imagine Councilwoman Whidden, you're in your night clothes, and you get a call in the night from one of your daughters on the phone saying that she was walking to the house about a block and a half away when she was surrounded by policemen. You go out and you see this. What do you do next? Do you go inside, you dress decently, and then drive down 1.5 blocks, or would you watch her until she is safe in your home? Well, Councilman Whidden, this actually happened to Councilwoman Taylor and her son. This mayor, Auburn City, should question why this happened. I attended Ward 1 meeting a week ago yesterday. Maybe someday my Ward 5 will have a council meeting also. Have a ward meeting. I was so impressed with Councilwoman Taylor, organizational skills, and her agenda. It was so civil and heartfelt. There were many stories about parents' kids and how they were treated by the police department. All said that there are many good Auburn policemen, but some may need more training, some may need changes in positions, or some may need to find more suitable career. Our city manager refused to help Councilwoman Taylor by turning down an idea that would improve police relationship, but no solution or ideas were proposed in its place. This is not about race issues. This is about having a completely effective police force that treats all citizens equally. No one is above the law. In my opinion, the Auburn Police Department sometimes can be too aggressive. I want to say every time I see an Auburn policeman at this meeting or out in the field, I thank them for what they do. But that does not mean they cannot be improvements. Mayor, please establish a community security task force that could be headed by Councilwoman Taylor, with 12 additional members being made up of presently of the city chief, Councilman Dawson, 1 patrol officer, 2 citizens representing Ward 1, and 1 citizen representing each ward 2 through 8. All approved by Councilman Taylor. They should meet monthly or as needed. Thank you.
Chief of Police, and express your concerns. I appreciate you bringing it to light today. But I want to speak on behalf of our police department. Auburn is one of the fastest growing cities in Alabama, if not the country. One of the fastest there is. Yet, with all this growth, crime is trending down in Auburn. You won't find another place as safe as Auburn. You asked Miss Whitten what she would do if her daughter was surrounded somewhere in her neighborhood. Well, I don't know where that come from, but if my daughter was, I have a daughter myself, I have one child. She's grown now, but she still lives out there in front of Daddy. If I woke up one night and police had her surrounded, I'd thank them for keeping her safe. Our police are there to keep people safe, and they do an excellent job. And I don't know what qualifies you to make the decision, the police department needs this or too aggressive, whatever. I don't know where your qualifications come from, but I can tell you from someone that's policed for 26 years and followed police work and been to every kind of school and FBI National Academy, everything, you have to be proactive as a police department, not reactive. You can't wait till something happens and go to stop it. You got to be proactive and put a stop to it. And you never know what a police officer's presence does to keep crime down. It may never be known to that officer, but I can guarantee you if an officer's seen and visible and doing his job, being proactive, the city's going to be better off for it. But if you do have a problem, if you know of an officer that's not quite up to par, not doing what he should be doing, I highly recommend you make an appointment with our chief of police, and he'll be glad to talk with you and speak with you. And I assure you, I'll have all the faith in the world he'll look into it for you, as well as our public safety director sitting over here. I know them both personally, been knowing them for several years, and I know if somebody was doing something inappropriate, they would deal with it appropriately. So I would like to say thank you to our police department for being proactive, and hope they continue to be, and crime continues to go down. There's not a worse feeling in the world to be a victim of a crime. So, and you see around surrounding cities where I saw where in Montgomery where tragically a young male was shot down, and we don't, thank the Lord in our police department, we don't have that happening here in Auburn right now. It could happen tonight, but so far we're doing pretty good, and that's not by accident. That's by the grace of God and a good police department. So thank you.
I want to comment on that, Chief Dawson. Mr. Wilkins, like he stated, he came to my ward meeting last Monday. I think it was a couple of Mondays ago, or last Monday, whatever. And there was not only just me, but there was other citizens that was there. We had a room of about 30 people, and there were some complaints that was brought to the attention about the police department. So everybody's not saying, and I don't want you to get it, I don't want you to understand what he was saying tonight. And I think he's given his statement based on what he heard at a ward meeting. And we could sit here and talk like Auburn is the safest city in the world, and I hope it's one of the safest cities. I really do. But that does not. Let me back up a little bit and slow down. My dad was actually killed here in Auburn, so I also have been on the other side. And I thank God that the police department was there and they addressed the issue at that time, and they addressed it in the proper way. But that does not mean that everybody gets the same treatment. I don't, just to hear people defending, there are good officers. I promise you, I know it, and I've dealt with them. And there's some good officers with nice, good attitudes, and they understand, and they'll come out and they'll address situations. But there are also some officers that need additional training. I'm gonna put it that way. I'm not gonna call them bad officers, because they're just like calling me a bad person. I may need some additional training here on this council. So, but sometimes there's people that need additional training or supervision even as to how they handle certain situations in certain neighborhoods. I would be very honored if a officer was protecting all of his citizens as they should protect all the citizens. But I don't think nobody in here is crazy enough to think that happens all over the world. Okay, so I want to thank Mr. Wilkins for some of his comments tonight, and I appreciate him getting before this council and he addressing it. I have addressed it. I have talked to Megan. And the only thing is, Megan did not deny my services when she talked to me. So I want to make that correction. We did have a talk, and we talk about some of the issues, and there needs to be some type of task force or something that citizens maybe can come, and especially in neighborhoods such as Ward 1, where we see a lot of things that we don't think is appropriate. I get thousands of stories. I'm not the police department, I sit on the council, but of course people are gonna come to me because of some of the things that happen, and I try to have them to address the city council. So I'm not trying to take over problems, but my job as a ward leader is to listen at some of the concerns, and that just happened to be some of the concerns that was brought up in the ward meeting. So let's not, I don't think that he was really being ugly by saying what he said tonight, but I am glad that he brought it to somebody's attention. And maybe we can do better, all of us, as citizens, as leaders, as protectors, as servers, or whatever it may be in Auburn. Thank you.
Those people that have a problem, have they met with the command staff, the director or the chief of police? This council paid for an unbelievable camera system to go in all our police cars. And if I know how it works, if they get complaints on a certain officer over and over, they're gonna start monitoring that. There's checks and balances in place to prevent that. So I would think if somebody has a problem with the conduct of police, they would meet with our chief, and he's fully capable of handling any problem. He's well educated with a lot of experience, and he is gonna I have full faith in him that he'll do a good job. So I would encourage you as a council person for Ward 1 to encourage the people when they feel something's not right. Nobody likes a bad police officer other than worse than another good police officer does. We don't like anybody to bring bad situations about where they conduct, and maybe there are some that need more training. But however, we're never going to get there if all we do is get together and complain about them. Meet with the chief of police. He's a good man. He'll do the job and he'll get it done right. Everything that the officer does should be on video now. So, I mean, they can get, if they find somebody with a problem, the director tell you yourself, we require remedial training. There are times we have to have remedial training for an officer when he may not realize what he's doing right or wrong and that, but I don't think you can qualify our whole department as not being a good department. And again, I challenge you, and challenge anybody to find a place where we have a better police department than we have right here in Auburn. I know what it's like when crime takes over a city. It eats it up completely. It starts from the inner city out, and it eats the entire thing up. So I don't want to see our city, well protected as we are now, to end up like some of our neighboring cities have. There is not a street in Auburn, Alabama, right now tonight. I'm 58 years old and crippled by Parkinson's, but there's not a street in Auburn, Alabama that I will not walk down at 1 o'clock in the morning and not be afraid of anybody bothering me. Police may stop and check them. When I could walk, I walked Cox Road a lot, and was stopped more than one time to ask what I was doing. Could they help me, whatever? I didn't get mad because they stopped me walking Cox Road. I appreciated it, because if somebody didn't need to be out there, they would be caught doing that. So I don't get mad when I get stopped by the police. I'm happy they do stop me, and if I'm in the wrong, I take my medicine and move on. But I know our command staff very well. Work with them. Grew up with them, so to speak, in that field of law enforcement. And if we're not proactive as a department, we'll end up with a broken city. People say, well, we got a good education. We do. But if our public safety department goes down, if our police go down, you can kiss that good education by, because the criminals are going to come in here and take over. You see on video where officers are beaten down up in New York City. I don't want to see that here in the city of Auburn. I want to support our police, and if somebody messes up, I would be the first to say, yeah, he's messed up. Something's got to be disciplined, and all complaints are taken very serious. People think they don't get heard. when we get a complaint, we take it, they do now, I used to do it, I take it very seriously, look into it, and the proof's in the pudding, the video's there. We got the state-of-the-art video. If it ain't there, if we get one that's not on video, we got a problem. But Director Matthews and Chief of Police will deal with that. But overall, I'm very proud of our department, and I can't say it enough. You gotta be proactive rather than reactive, because if you get reactive, crime's gonna eat you up.
I don't want to make a long story out of this, but I just want to say to you, Councilman Dawson, I do encourage people to either talk with our city manager or our chief of police or director of police. It's people's choice, and one of the things in the what he suggested is having, how do you build trust in the black community with the police department? And I'm gonna leave it just like that, and I'm not gonna go into any details as to what I'm alluding to, but it is what it is. So I appreciate Auburn Police Department. I never said it was a bad police department. I don't even want anybody to think that. I don't think anybody at my meeting said that it was overall that we got the worstest police department. So I don't want people to even think that. So once again, I just thank you for the comment, and thank you for your comment.
I think this council has demonstrated that if we were satisfied or placated about the performance of our public safety, we wouldn't be spending over $4 million to build a new public safety training center. And I think it's all of our hopes that we give these men and women who are charged with protecting us a place here in town where they can go and get further training, whatever that kind of training might be. 900 employees, we're not going to be perfect. There's going to be mistakes, and there's going to be mistakes that are going to be hard to overcome. There are going to be mistakes that we can correct and move on pretty quickly from. And I would expect as the mayor that anytime, any department, any employee that makes mistakes, that those people who are leading them and directing them are working with them immediately and trying to correct those mistakes as quick as possible. I really believe in our police department. I've always believed in our police department. I've always been grateful for them. I don't think that Chief Anderson would expect me to think that everything they do is perfect every day they go out and protect us. But I do believe in it, and I am grateful for them. I spend time, as many of you know, with different mayors across the state. I'll be with a lot of mayors tomorrow in Montgomery as the legislative session kicks off. We were with the Big Ten mayors a couple of weeks ago in Hoover. I'm very glad for the problems we have in Auburn, because there's a lot of other cities that struggle, and crime is the number one thing that is talked about every time we get together. And we don't have those stories. Again, we're not perfect. Not saying we need to be satisfied. We need to keep pushing ahead. But and I'm proud that we're going to give those men and women a facility that they can do that in. And I expect them to train to the best of their abilities and of our leadership and public safety to figure out every way they could use that to its highest capacity to make sure that those folks are ready to go. But I just want to say tonight, I believe in them and I trust them very much.